the grand entry of His Excellency the President Mwai Kibaki, and he's come to be the 10th Parliament farewell. It is his last time in office after serving Kenyans for a decade, and as the life of the 10th Parliament comes to an end, the President, who is also the Uthaya Member of Parliament, is here for a special session, and we do expect that in his speech to the parliamentarians, as they also prepare to face the electorate once again in March, he will be seeking them to unite the country. This is going by the speech he gave during Jamhuri Day. He will also maybe move to highlight strides made under his tenure, and this could be likely the economic growth, the improved road and railway network, the growth in ICT, enhanced freedoms, especially with the mushrooming of many radio and TV stations, and most importantly, the passage of the new constitution. And the President is expected to make his speech once the National Assembly Speaker Kenneth Marende introduces him this afternoon. Just to remind you again, it's a special session in Parliament when President Mwai Kibaki is expected to address the 10th Parliament for the final time before he retires.
Speaker, Deputy Speaker, ikadi yake.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. We will now proceed from order number 7 to the next order.
Number 8, Presidential Address to Parliament.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, please be guided that we are proceeding under Standing Order number 16. And we will commence as follows. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Mwai Kibaki. Honorable members, it is my privilege, honor, and pleasure to, on behalf of all honorable members, welcome Your Excellency, the President, to the House this afternoon. This day is set to go into the annals of history of our country as of most worthy significance, as one on which Your Excellency formally delivered your final address, fully so as a member after 49 years of uninterrupted service. It has been a long race, but like in all races, including the ones Kenyans are famous for winning world over, it is not so much your running mannerisms that matter. It is how you finish the race. I am persuaded, Your Excellency, and I believe that I speak for all of us, your finish is splendid, deserving of prime accolades. Your Excellency, as all the honorable members are no doubt aware, your political career started in Makerere University when you became the chairman of the association and the vice chairman of Makerere Students Guild, yet still attained a first-class honors degree in economics. With your permission, Your Excellency, allow me to cite a few salient features in your illustrious political career, and more so as a legislator. In March 1960, you were involved in founding the KANU Party, and in the month of Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, even if I started with Kenya, it would be Kenya African National Union Party. And in the month of December the same year, Your Excellency, you left your lecturer's job at Makerere University and returned home to be the executive officer of the party. In Kenyan parlance, as a way of underscoring the work the founding membership of the party did, for more than 30 years thereafter, KANU was Baba na Mama in this. KANU was Baba na Mama in this country's political arena. Your Excellency was first elected to Parliament in 1963 as Member of Parliament for Donholm constituency, starting a long career here that saw you serve as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister for Commerce and Industry, Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, 1970 to 78, Member for Othaya constituency, 1974 to date, founded DP, the Democratic Party, in 1991, 1978, Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, and to illustrate your checkered political career, leader of the official opposition, and finally, the President of the Republic of Kenya, beginning the 30th December, year 2002. It is no wonder, Your Excellency, that the World Bank President, Robert McNamara, described Your Excellency thus, and I quote, "one of the greatest economic brains to have emerged from Africa," unquote. Your Excellency, you will allow me to pause so that the member for Kisumu Rural and the Honorable Nanok, the member for Mathila, do not suffer for too long. Very well. Your Excellency, there is the addition of the member for Ugenya to the list. Your Excellency led this House from the front to the enactment of the new Constitution in the year 2010. In this regard, and generally, I wish to acknowledge and appreciate the unfailing and continued support that I, as the Speaker, and indeed the whole of the National Assembly have received from Your Excellency. The Parliamentary Service Commission, which I'm privileged to chair, has accessed all the requisite funds to carry out all the programs in this institution. It has been a major challenge to prepare for the bicameral Parliament, but with your wise counsel and guidance, we will be ready come March 2013. Your Excellency, this really, as a matter of fact and in fact, is your day, and I do not desire to say any more. But because on an occasion such as this will not come again in the foreseeable future, allow me to conclude by highlighting the achievements of the 10th Parliament during your tenure, Your Excellency. A, adoption of new standing orders that, among other things, made Parliament more robust in its operations, particularly parliamentary committees. B, enacted the Physical Management Act that has seen Parliament take a central role in national budget making in line with the Constitution. C, oversaw the Constitution review process, the passage of the proposed Constitution, and now its implementation. And D, oversaw the creation of independent commissions meant to safeguard democracy. E, enacted over 45 statutes intended to implement the new Constitution. F, introduced live broadcast by television and radio of parliamentary proceedings in the chamber and in committees beginning from June 2009. G, started a media center within parliamentary premises to enhance interaction with the media and to enhance their access to information in the month of May 2009. And H, set up a Parliamentary Studies and Training Center to be a center of excellence in parliamentary training in Kenya and beyond, and in fact, Your Excellency, the first in East and Central Africa. I, rationalized staff establishment encompassing job evaluation and skills audit to ensure that we have the requisite and competent staff to effectively support the work of members of parliament. J, and finally, revamped the Budget Office, Research Department, and Information and Technology Departments. Your Excellency, as members of the 10th Parliament and the entire Parliamentary Service Commission, and indeed I personally, wish to place on record our sincere gratitude to you for all these achievements. Finally, may I, with utmost humility, invite Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, to address this House.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I am pleased to join you for the special sitting of Parliament. The life of the 10th Parliament is about to come to an end, and as we look back at the last 5 years, there is plenty to be grateful for. This House has been one of the most active in our nation's history in terms of legislation passed. Together with the 9th Parliament, the last 10 years have indeed seen one of the highest number of bills passed in our nation's history. Indeed, Parliament has passed over 227 bills in the last 10 years. The year 2012 alone will go down in history as the busiest legislative calendar, with over 90 bills passed. Mr. Speaker, when this House was inaugurated, our country was recovering from one of its most challenging times since independence. The first pieces of legislation that were passed were the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill and the National Accord and Reconciliation Bill of the year 2008. These two laws set the foundation for establishment of the Grand Coalition government, as well as the efforts to bring about healing and reconciliation in our country. When the Grand Coalition government was formed, many skeptics doubted that it would serve its full term. I am grateful that we have not only served our full term, but have also significantly improved the lives of Kenyans. I thank the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga for his dedication and commitment. Despite the challenges we faced in the last 5 years, we were able to stay focused on the goal of transforming the social economic, and political spheres of Kenya. I commend the Vice President, Kalonzo Musyoka, for his stewardship as leader of government business. I also thank the two Deputy Prime Ministers, Uhuru Kenyatta and Musalia Mudavadi, and all members of Parliament for their hard work. I would also like to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your leadership and wisdom through which you have guided this august House. Kenyans will remember you fondly for your significant non-partisan and landmark rulings. Moreover, I commend this House for supporting the work of the Grand Coalition government through passing most legislation presented by the executive. Of these, the most significant was our annual budget. The budget is the most important policy document for a government, whereas it spells out how development programs will be managed and financed. I am pleased that this House passed all the 5 budgets presented by the government, and this enabled us implement our capacity building and development initiatives across the country. Mr. Speaker, this House will go down in history for the key role that it played in the constitutional process that led to the promulgation of our Constitution in 2010. The Constitution of Kenya Review Act, which was passed by this House in the year 2008, provided a legal framework for the review of the Constitution and established the key organs that facilitated the process. These organs included the Committee of Experts and the Parliamentary Select Committee. These bodies, led by Senior Counsel Nzamba Gitonga and Honorable Abdikadir Muhammad, engaged Kenyans and worked hard to deliver a draft constitution. This was approved by this House and adopted by the people of Kenya in a referendum. After more than 20 years, we were finally able to achieve our goal of a new constitutional dispensation. Thereafter, this House has met all the laid out timelines and enacted the legislation required by the 5th schedule, and Kenyans are very proud of your achievements in this area. Indeed, you have set an example to the incoming Parliament, which will have the responsibility of enacting the remaining laws that will give full effect to the Constitution by the year 2015. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the Constitution has radically changed our government structures and led to significant reforms in the judiciary and our electoral process. Parliament has played an active role in this reform process. On the judiciary, Parliament enacted the Supreme Court of Kenya Act, the Judiciary Service Commission Act, and the Vetting of Judges and Magistrates Act, amongst others. On electoral reforms, this House passed the legislation on elections, political parties, and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. As a result, Kenyans now have significant faith in the judiciary as well as the electoral process in the country. In addition to passing these laws, the National Assembly has expeditiously overseen the vetting and approval of the constitutional office holders. Moreover, holders of independent offices, the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget, were approved by this House. These developments have ushered in a new era of accountability and confidence in public appointments. Parliament has also enacted prerequisite laws to implement devolution. These include 1. Public Finance Management Act, 2. County Government Act, 3. Intergovernmental Relations Act, 4. Transition to Devolved Government Act, and 5. Urban Areas and Cities Act. These laws provide a legal framework to anchor our transition from a central government to a devolved system as our Constitution provides. Devolution will bring government closer to the people and will also facilitate the involvement of wananchi in decision-making at all levels of governance. Mr. Speaker, one of the National Assembly's most critical roles is oversight over the executive. The 10th Parliament has performed this function with distinction and has been a faithful watchdog on behalf of the people of Kenya. The parliamentary committee system has been exceptionally active during the life of this parliament. First time in Kenya's history, Kenyans have watched members of the executive as well as other institutions account for their actions before people's representatives. The oversight on expenditure has been particularly impressive, with the parliamentary accounts and parliamentarians being able to clear the backlog that had accumulated from the past. It will be the responsibility of the 11th Parliament to continue with these efforts of keeping the executive accountable. It is important, however, that this process is conducted in an atmosphere of mutual trust and decorum. Mr. Speaker, it is the responsibility of the government to provide security for its citizens and protect them from any internal or external threats. For some time, Kenya had suffered attacks from hostile elements based in Somalia who had links to international terror networks. In an effort to protect our territorial integrity, we pursued these terrorists into Somalia. The executive sought the approval of Parliament, have made significant achievements in Somalia, and are now part of the African Union mission in Somalia. As we celebrate their success, it's important for the role played by Parliament in this military operation. Mr. Speaker, I have been honored to serve my country as a member of this House since 1963. I thank God through this long period. I also thank my constituents, both in the then Dunhome, in Nairobi, and Othaya, for their faith in my leadership. In my different roles in Parliament, as a member of various parliamentary committees, leader of opposition, and leader of government, I have developed the conviction that Parliament holds in its hands the ability to determine the destiny of our nation. Members of this House have the potential to radically improve the lives of the people of Kenya. Our Constitution, as well as the impressive legislative efforts of this House, have put in place different. After the elections next year, Kenya will have a two-tier government at the national and county level, a bicameral parliament, increased accountability for elections.